Hello everyone, my name is Gaurav Bhandari and I'm working as a lead analyst with Thomson Reuters, and today I will be talking about our new product offering, which is our new integration with Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer engagement. As you can see on my screen, what OneSource does is it provides trusted text content for almost all the countries supported by the ERP localizations. It automates the tax calculation process across different document types under the P2P O2C process, such as sales orders, sales quotations, and invoices. We do have a product taxability and mapping available for millions of products, ensuring the accurate tax calculations. We do support address validation feature, wherein whenever a new address is created or modified in the system, you get the address validated with zip plus 4. So in US specifically, the taxes and tax rates can be different from state to state basis. So zip plus 4 feature covers that particular aspect to give you the accurate tax calculation. We do have reporting and analytics capabilities where you can extract reports based on several parameters such as state, city, county, tax authority, and many more. We do support exemption management where you can store your exemption certificates and perform exemption taxability at the line level with tax override and the adjustment functionality. And we do support sales and both use tax for the US. Let's jump on to the next slide and see what features does our new integrations with customer engagement offers. As you can see on my screen, we do have our ability to calculate since customer engagement supports only O2C side of the process. So we do support tax calculation for sales quotations, orders, and invoices. We do have ability to calculate taxes or validate addresses using both SOAP and REST endpoints. Means you can validate the address during the creation and the modification. There's one more feature that we added to the address validation, which is called is residential. So this feature currently is being supported by the REST endpoint. So whenever a address validation call is made to the REST endpoint, so it immediately identifies whether this address is residential or not, and this flag is also stored on the customer or the account master itself. We do offer logging capabilities with different log levels, such as info, warning, error, and debug. And there's always an option for a better user experience and performance. There's always an option to delete the log. So there are certain parameters which are provided for delete option as well. OneSource does support tax calls in transaction or accounting currency. So there's the option you can choose, and depending on your system setup, there's always an option to make a tax call accordingly. We do support custom attributes, and we do have like 40 attributes available at the header and the 40 attributes available at the line level. So to cover the B2B aspect of this, we have developed the storage of address registration, and those registrations can also be passed as a custom attribute to make a tax call. So specifically the countries in Europe where the taxability depends a lot on the registration status of the customers. So this is the reason we included this address registration attributes to the tax call as well. So in terms of reporting, we do have a tax reconciliation report where users can reconcile the the transactions that have been reported in or posted in the ERP versus what has been reported into the audit database of OneSource. We do have tax error handling capabilities. Suppose any tax call fails, so there is an error handling form wherein you can go and drill down and see what was the main reason why this tax call failed. So once you clear up that reason, that specific transaction also clears from that form. We do have a lot of process and performance improvements to get to give a better user experience. In terms of future releases, we would like to extend our geographical coverage beyond US and already supported countries, and we are always open for process improvements and in supported versions. So this is the latest version that we will be releasing as a part of our MVP1. So let's jump onto the application and have a look there. So this is how the standard customer engagement application looked like. So if you scroll down here in the modules, we have placed a OneSource module here, and you can see all the OneSource components in one place. So let's take them one by one. First of all is the one source IDT parameters. So on the top of the screen, first of all, there are two buttons which are to test the connectivity, whether all these credentials are correct. So you can hit this connectivity button and it will immediately give you a response as a success. So if there is any missing component in these credentials, so this tax call will fail. So then there's a similar button for tax calculation as well. And in case you're using the same credentials for both tax calculation and address validation, you can replicate those credentials by hitting this button. So customer engagement doesn't have its own native tax engine. So if you want to enable IDT service, so this checkbox would be always selected. And I said like we support both the endpoints JSON and SOAP, so there is always the option to choose between the two endpoints over here. If tax calculation is not enabled, all the tax fields will turn out to be a free tax fields. So in that case, there won't be any real tax calculation, but it will be just like a free field where you can input any value over there. So similarly, a same kind of a setup is there for address validation. So wherein we have a choice to choose from two endpoints, and there's a option to enable or disable this service. So if I scroll down, then there are tax log settings where we have like a different logging setting that users can choose from log levels. And we do have a product taxability setup, and these mappings are done with our denomination so that you get the right taxes back on your transactions. So in terms of accounting setup, we do have you can define a currency over here, and there's a choice between what kind of a currency you want to use on your tax call. So there's the option to choose between reporting and transactional currency. So we do have an offline setup where we have, in case the service is down, so there is always a fallback rate, and that kind of a configurations you can set up over here. And the last of this page is the version number. So this is our current version number. So that gets updated with all the new. Moving to the next tab on the parameter screen is the delete tax log options, so where you can specify a date range, you can specify what kind of a log for which document type do you want to delete that logs for, and what kind of a log level you want to delete. So we do have custom attributes for 3 supported document types which come from our O2C process, and you can configure these custom attributes from this screen. And whenever any relation or field name is applied to a custom attribute at the header or on the line level. So this is the box to activate those custom attributes. There's a setup wizard as well. So there's a kind of a warning, like whenever you run the setup wizard, it clears the custom attributes configuration. So be careful with running this setup wizard. The next one is a reconciliation report. You can run this report based on a specific time range. So the next thing in the ONESOURCE module is the tax log. So these are the transactions for which the tax calls has been made, and these logs get generated for both SOAP and REST endpoints. So you can sort these logs from different logging levels, such as info, warning, debug from this space. So next is the item. This is how you configure your product tax codes, and these product tax codes get tied to the items, and then they become a part of the tax call for the taxability purposes. So we do have a tax error handling capabilities. These are IDT tax error forms. So this is a demo environment. So means you can drill down into any of these document and then you can fix the issues, and then that will clear up that record from this list. The next on the list is IDT tax reconciliation, like all the reports that you will run, it will just show up over here. Let's jump into one of the transaction and see how does ONESOURCE tax calculations work over there. So I will go into the sales module, and I will select codes from here, and we'll start creating a new code. As a standard process, the code in customer engagement starts from the potential customer. So you can select any of the customer that you have in the system. Let's select this one. And then you will have to provide the name of the customer and select the price list. You can select or default shipping terms, payment terms, and freight terms from this section. And from the lookup address, there's an option to select an address. So like we have this address on file. So when this address was created, it returned back with a zip plus 4. So I'll select, and there's the option you want to use the same build to and ship address, and then hit add address button. So it will default and populate all the information from the customer file over here. And if you notice, the registration number has also been defaulted from the customer master. So the next step in this process is to add a line that we can do from here. So there's an option to select existing product, or either you can create a new product at this screen. So let's do product DH1. So as soon as the product is populated here, it will default the price from the product master, and then you can just verify the address and all these details. So even this address got replicated for this line along with the registration number. So we go back to the Journal tab and hit the save. So as soon as we hit the save, you see the tax gets calculated on this for this specific line. So we can close this line, and now the tax is showing up on the line. So you can add more line if you want, like let's add one more product here. So let it be a different product this time. So price is 650. Then again, I'll hit save. The text gets populated. So this is the process to get make a tax call and get the taxability on different document types. So, and there are further steps to process this document, and you can activate the code, then you can convert that code into the order, and then order would be invoiced. So this is the end-to-end process for taxability for customer engagement. So in terms of our address validation feature, so we can go to accounts and start creating a new account. So let it be, let's give a name test, and then you can start typing in the address. Suppose we want to use this address for this specific account. So as soon we select this address, so you can see this address is the valid address in the New York, and it has this postal code. So we'll just close and hit a save button. It will trigger an address validation call right away. So after storing all these details and verifying all the details, you can hit save button, and it will return zip plus 4. And you see there is residential flag. This address is not a residential address, so it says the residential is no. So that concludes my demo for the tax calculation and the address validation services that we are offering with our ONESOURCE integration for Dynamics 365 customer engagement. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.